So we primarily grow Chardonnay and Pinot Noir grapes, which are suited for those growing types. Then the farther south you go up to Napa Valley, of course, you start getting into Zin and Cabernets and Merlots and different things. So the first one I'm going to be pouring is for the octopus. So usually when I'm pairing a dish, the first thing I look at the region of the dish and kind of classically see what tends to be paired. So with octopus, I think of Spain. I think of what they drink in Spain, a lot of Pinot Grigios, certainly in Italy as well. So we have a Pinot Grigio from Layered, but this one's coming from Carneros, right in our backyard. So these grapes are actually about 200 yards from the property. So right acidity. But because we're a little bit cooler in climate here, you get these beautiful spice notes, a little bit of clove, a touch of cinnamon. And the producer is Layered. Layered, this winery has the most grapes under vine in Napa Valley. They grow grapes for practically everybody. From Steve Kistler to Literai to Marcassin. But they also produce a bit of wine themselves. So this is their new release of the 2017 Pinot Grigio. This is a single vineyard called Cold Creek, which is a state fruit, which is biodynamic.
But we have our braised octopus, and this is the start of our carrot tasting menu. A move we made maybe 8 months ago. We took our tasting menu, which we've had in place for a while, and started focusing down on a single ingredient. So you'll see the ingredient through the whole menu, which has been a fun conversation piece for the kitchen, especially involving pastry into the savory. I think some of the items that we've chosen has been a lot of fruit, so it's an easy fix for pastry, but we've thrown some curveballs in there, such as carrot perhaps, or corn, beets, English peas, some other things you might not think of as a pastry opportunity. But Jerome, our pastry chef, is very talented and has come through every time. So
is it always a vegetable that you, or a fruit that you make?
Yeah, we haven't remarked. We'll always do a fruit or a vegetable. Definitely not a vegetarian restaurant. We want to be produce forward as much as possible. So I think that's really how we want to kind of show what we're doing. Is I think people talk farm to table, seasonal, and those are all very important pieces that we want to bring to the table, but really trying to focus on what the produce is doing, dictating the season. So carrots, octopus is a Spanish octopus that we sous vide just until it's tender. And then we're making a really light vinaigrette off of some of the liquid off the braising that just dresses the octopus. On the bottom is a carrot puree, really thin. We juice a whole bunch of carrots and then cook carrots in the carrot juice. So your carrot flavor is real intense. The sweetness is in that is just straight from the carrot itself. As that reduces, the color gets a little dark, the earthiness comes up, but the sweetness of the carrot really comes through. And then there's a little, almost like a little carrot coleslaw on the top, yellow and orange carrots, really light pickle with some rice vinegar, and then just simply dressed with some frisee, and then sorrel, red vein sorrel was one of the items from the garden. That's a little green leaf with the red veins. Enjoy. Any questions?
Thank you. Beautiful.
Stare at. Take a picture. I can make a second one, but enjoy.
Thank you.
I'm going to change it up a little bit here. Everyone did like the first wine? That worked out well?
Yeah, it was nice.
Good.
Very much.
Good.
You've done good, Simon.
Thank you very much. Well, I don't want to, I love biodynamic wines, but it's not because it has to be biodynamic or organic. For my personal approach and for farm, it's about kind of the minimalistic approach, where you let the terroir speak, let the land, let weather, let things happen naturally. And that's what's more important. Some wines are made to be a particular style, and that's great because we all have flavor profiles that we like. And certain wineries just kind of let the land take over, and this is one of those. This is Topless Creek. So this is two families coming together, one from France, one from here in California, to do something special. The Chateau Beaucastel has been making wine since 1549. one of the oldest states in the Rhone Valley in France. It's crazy. The history, I can't even start. They're on their 6th generation in regards to family owned. So what they did was cuttings have been brought from the Rhone Valley and they're replanted in Paso Robles, which is making quite a splash. Some great Zinfandels are coming out of Paso, some great wines. UC Davis, when they're training, they're taking the kids up to Paso Robles because of the organic renaissance that's happening up there, so it's quite exciting. So this is a combination of Marsanne Roussanne. It's a Rhone blend from Paso Robles. You're gonna get honeysuckle. It's got some texture, a little bit of waxiness. But this is to pair with the pasta. There's a little bit of Indian notes in here, like a little Vadavan with the carrot foam. That really plays well with the honeysuckle and flavors of this wine, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Not reading my book. The kids don't read that. I was like, what's wine right now?
I can't believe you haven't been
And that's where
to
it's
here.
all, when I read
We were wine.
Is an orchetti pasta. We make all our pastas in house. You have a black trumpet mushroom underneath and sauteed, kind of hiding underneath. And then the carrot, you have tiniest little baby carrots that we can possibly pull. And then we made a little carrot foam as well. That's over the top. And then the yellow is a microplane with a cured egg yolk. And those are also from the property. They're chickens at the top. The foam is up yours as their sweetness.
I hope you're still enjoying yourselves.
Yes.
Well, we just did a wine that dates back to the Bocastels that are rooted in history for the last 400 years in tradition. So thought we'd do something different and go to a winery that started in 2007. And their motto is, we take our wine seriously, but not ourselves. And they have an estate that's doing something a little bit different. It looks like a hacienda. They're on our region, our AVA, Carneros sits on Napa and Sonoma, majority on the Napa side. So they're on the Sonoma side, still right down the street up Highway 12. And if you want to come in and learn about wine and be educated, you can. If you want to come out and pitch a blanket and have a picnic and pop a bottle, you can do that too. They do movies and music, but they also make some beautiful wines. The family came from Germany, so they started off with some unique grapes like Sylvaner and Grüner Veltliner and Riesling, but they quickly kind of had to turn towards the region and started making some Pinot Noirs, and quite lovely. So kind of an old world approach, obviously due to their roots. But I always say Cabernet lovers tend to like this Pinot Noir. It's got good tannins and good structure, bright acidity that plays well with food. So please enjoy.
Thank you.
I went to this winery for the first time recently, and it was a really fun experience.
Spoke on the first course, juiced the carrots and reduced that with honey and some shallots. And then we make a mostarda, which you see around the outside of the plate. Some of that goes into the glaze. So that just reduces
Pork belly.
down, gets nice and sticky, which will glaze over the belly as the honey reduces. The mostarda is a variety of carrots with pickled mustard seeds. We cook the carrots real quick, a little bit of fennel, and then pour the pickled mustard seeds over that. The green oil on the outside is made off of fig leaves that grow behind this building. We have about, I think we have 14 fig trees on property. It puts out a really nice sweetness, almost like a coconut. I get a lot of coconut on the nose, and then a little subtle sweetness, a little bit of bitterness, that's the green. And then a little bit of carrot chips on the top and some broccoli.
Bar none. One of their most recent wineries was Odette, which was opened in 2011. They utilized a property that already had 30 to 40-year-old vines. So new winemaker, but not new grapes, if you want to say. Jeff Owens is the winemaker there. You know, at 35, he's producing some pretty amazing Cabernets, wines that have already hit 98, 99 score. But I think what's beautiful is this is adaptation that comes from Odette. And I think it's just approachable right out of the bottle. It's a 2015. Some dark cocoa, some great dark fruit notes, but I think make it just a fun, easy drinking wine and something we love. So certainly please enjoy it. Any questions on any wines that we poured before? Or
Can I see the
label?
label?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to get a picture of that as well. This is really good.
Thank you.
And this is from Napa Valley, coming from the Stag's Leap District.
Thank you.
This one. Right there.
Carrot, a couple ways again.
Prime filet
Puree on the bottom of
mignon.
the plate. The orange is a carrot puree. We folded in miso. Kind of rounds out the salinity in that a bit, and that's next to a salsa puree. Very rich, but that's just a salsa. No cream is in that. I just really love how that kind of creams on its own as you cook it really slow. Love the white color. You have roasted salsa on top. We sous vide that until it was really tender, and then sear it really hard. So you have a nice char on one side, as well as a leek that we like fire roasted. We burn that, wrap that in aluminum or parchment paper and aluminum, and just kind of let it steam. So you get a real strong smoky flavor that comes through on the leek. And then the other carrot is coated with pistachio. So baby carrots again, we grow. We're braising those. On the pickup, we heat them up and kind of layer it in with the salsa puree, and then roll it in Sicilian pistachios. Sicilian pistachios, a little different in color. On it's crazy green, super consistent size. You have a really strong pistachio flavor, obviously, but I think the pistachios we're used to almost are more fatty. These crumble and chop really well. I really love how that coated the carrot. And then a bordelaise sauce over the top.
With this wine, it's interesting. Not to geek out, but molds are interesting. You know, usually looked at it as a negative, but it impacts our lives in so many ways. Some of the cheeses I like are some of the funkiest, smelliest cheeses, where a mold plays a great role for medicine, obviously penicillin, but here there's a mold that affects wine in a way that makes it pretty extraordinary. That's what happens in Sauternes, in that little area on the north end of Bordeaux. But botrytis. So when you let your grapes hang in a certain climate, this noble rot will happen only in certain pockets of the world, and it's pretty spectacular, the end result. So that's what's happened here with this late harvest Chardonnay. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to dine at Boonfly, our cafe. Well, Boonfly is one of our cafes. It's a casual restaurant.
No, I got you.
But chicken and donuts, it's a lot of fun. But Boonfly is a farmer that was farming land here in Carneros in the 1860s. Probably one of the oldest farmers here, so that's where it got its name. Boonfly, the property turned into Bouchain Winery, and that's what you're drinking right now. So this is here in Carneros. This is on Cuttings Wharf on the back end, so almost in the marshlands, where on a clear day you can see San Francisco. Quite beautiful property. So a late harvest Chardonnay done with botrytis fruit.
Thank you.
I love this wine, so I poured way more than you did.
And you know what? We love you for that. That just makes you even better for us.
It's on a bed of soil, edible soil.
Yeah. Yeah.
So carrot cake, not your traditional carrot cake. There's a white chocolate cremel underneath the soil, and there's a little bit in the cake as well to act as your frosting. There's a little coconut in the carrot cake, and so he forms it and then dips it in a cocoa butter, which kind of gives you that shell, gives you a little bit of a crunch when it sets. Obviously, it is playing around with the color. Actual carrot tops, which are edible, if you want to bring that into it. And then the streusel is almond and cocoa powder. It's a fun little dessert. As I was saying, though, some of our tasting menus, like when we did the English pea, he also did it with blueberry, where he's kind of playing with the visual. On the a la carte menu, we have a lemon cake. It's shaped like half of a Meyer lemon. So he's having some fun back there with that stuff. Right. A little different. I think the carrot cake is really good. Super moist. Jerome is really talented.